stop over here, guys, and go over a little bit in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Owning Super 73 EU edition. Yeah, welcome to a new Rad City video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hi, wie geht's dir?
Gut, schönen Tag.
Dankeschön, du auch. Was ist das?
Self-bau oder?
Huh?
Is that self-bau?
Sorry?
Did you make it yourself?
No, it's a Super 73.
Ah, okay.
What is that?
It's a YT.
Okay. That's also a mid-drive, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, very good.
Yeah. I've seen this one before here in Berlin.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only one in Berlin.
Okay, but it's a Berlin. It's a German brand?
No, it's from California.
It's California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it from Luna Cycle?
No, it's from Super 73. Here.
Ah, okay.
From Super 73.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's out here doing some just some shooting for my YouTube channel.
Ah, okay, cool. I think I saw you on the motorbike Berlin, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice. Cool.
You guys just riding around today?
Yeah. Just visiting Berghain. And I will have a look on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Take care, guys. Ciao. Yeah, so as you see, definitely one of the good parts about owning a Super 73. People are curious, a one-of-a-kind bike, so it's definitely cool. So yeah, this is a long-term review of the Super 73 RX. We're going to today go over the good, the bad, the ugly in terms of owning a Super 73. Some of the good parts about it, some of the bad parts about it, some of the ugly side of owning a Super 73 RX. Should be interesting, long-term review. Just a few different points here. Out here at Berghain, the middle of winter, snow on the ground. We'll go for a little ride, go over the whole good, the bad, and the ugly in terms of all the ownership. Yeah, so enjoy this video. Subscribe to Rad City, and we'll continue with this long-term review of the Super 73 RX in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's go and talk about the best parts about owning the Super 73 RX.
Das ist ja ein cooles Ding.
Ja, dankeschön.
Was machst du? Drehst du irgendwas oder wie?
Yeah, ich mache hier nur ein bisschen so YouTube Videos für meine YouTube Channel hier, Rad City Berlin.
Ah, okay.
Genau.
Cool.
Ja,
Das ist Berghain, gell?
Hä?
Ah, cool. Das ist Berghain, gell?
Genau.
Ja.
Das hier ist Berghain.
Ist hier der Eingang?
Genau, hier gerade hier vorne.
Das ist die Tür, ja?
Genau.
Oh.
Aber es ist Berghain is closed, it's zu.
Ja, ich weiß.
Seit lange,
Ja.
leider. Morgen ist die Frage. Es ist eine sehr gute Frage.
Oh, cool. Mit welcher Kamera drehst du YouTube?
Ja, einfach hier die GoPro.
Ah, ist GoPro.
Genau.
Macht die gute Videos.
Genau, hier zwei, eins auf meinen Kopf und eins da. Genau.
Cool.
Genau.
Ich will auch anfangen mit Videos.
Ja.
Mit YouTube. Aber mit, ich will so Comedy.
Okay, ja.
Comedy.
Street Comedy. Okay.
Ja.
Was
So ein
für
bisschen-
Comedy?
So ein bisschen Leute verarschen, weißt du?
Okay, ja.
So ein bisschen so Prank-mäßig.
Verstehe, ja. Okay.
Ja, sowas hab ich nicht gemacht.
Ich muss gucken, bin ich hier geprankt?
Nein.
Yeah, cool. We have a new fan for Rad City here, Dennis. Check him out here on Instagram. He made this nice little story for Rad City Berlin. Really nice. So, good part about owning the Super 73. Definitely the fans, the people who are interested in the bikes, the people who recognize it, people who don't. Really cool. Like the guy with his YT e-bike, that was really cool with his Shimano mid-drive. That was dope. Here we have Dennis, also as well too. Out checking in Berlin, everything's closed, like here at Berghain. So tomorrow is the question, as it says here. Morgen ist die Frage. That's the question, right? Tomorrow is the question. Is this place going to open? Is it going to close? Right now, we're here in like the third lockdown in Germany with the whole Corona. So today we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hope you guys enjoy today's video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's have some fun riding around here in this terrible weather. Enjoy. I'm going to talk a little bit today about the good, the bad, and the ugly of owning a Super 73 RX EU edition out here in Berlin, Germany. Cold winter day right now, -1 degrees Celsius. That's like what, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. So out here on a cold winter day, nice long-term 3-4 month ownership review. Bike has about now 500 kilometers on it. We just got the service done by Yepley. It's a perfect time now to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. What I love, what I don't, what can be better of owning a Super 73 RX in Europe. So starting off with the best, for sure, the good points of the bike, for sure, it is the olive drab RX EU edition. What more can I say? I love all the colors of the RX. The red's nice, the carmine red, and the gray is also nice, really dope. But for sure I find the olive drab version special. It stands out for sure. It's not like your average bike. Definitely the color has been really nice. I like that. It's really good of this particular Super 73 RX. I'm not a big fan of like regular e-bikes where they take a regular pedal bike and like strap a battery to the center, to like the center frame, and then put like a hub mount motor on there somewhere front or back. I find that rather ugly, and for the price that you pay, there are much better alternatives out there. So for sure, I like the fact that it's a game changer. It's one of a kind. It stands out from the crowd. So standing out from the crowd is good for anti-theft. If somebody steals your bike, it should be pretty easy to recognize if it's your bike, or right? It's not like buying a Canon or a Trek where it's a little bit too easy to steal and get lost in the crowd. So I like that for sure. And another good thing I love about the Super 73 RX EU edition is the power and components. Like this being my first e-bike, I was definitely hesitant, or not hesitant, but I had thoughts, concerns about the whole weight of the bike, pedaling, the whole EU regulations, 250 watt. But all in all, considering that it's 80 pounds, it moves along at a pretty good clip. You barely notice the weight sometimes. Definitely going up a hill, it's not as challenging as I had thought. So definitely the power is nice, and the adjustability as well too, of course. That's a really nice plus that I really enjoy owning the Super 73 RX. What else can I say which is good about it? Definitely the suspension. I love the suspension. It makes for a really nice ride. It's probably one of the nicest bits of the bike is the suspension. There's some nice upgrades out there, like some nice Crocs, motocross suspension that you can throw on the bike. But we'll do that later after the warranty wears off. Let's see how we can go around this bus. Let's go around here and talk a little bit more. So yeah, definitely the suspension has been nice. That's a big plus. So yeah, definitely the power and the components. You know, because basically, you know, when you're looking at the RX, most of these YouTube videos you're seeing are in the United States, and the RX in the US is more or less a completely different bike than the EU spec, right? So if you compare the two bikes together, they look practically the same, but there are some pretty big differences for the EU spec, right, to make it legal here, right? So definitely the components of the EU spec are really nice, with the whole 10-speed and the torque sensor and the nice upgraded Magora brakes, right? So there's some really nice bits to the bike that give it a good upgraded feeling when you compare the specs to their US to their US counterparts, right? So definitely the components will be good. In terms of the bad, what can I say about the bad? Definitely we can start with the motor, right? There were those V1, V2 motor issues, right? So luckily this one here is the V3, It seems to be so far problem free. I've had no issues with it, thankfully. So V3 motor on the Super73-RX EU edition here. So when I seen the bike and the whole issues, I put the pre-order down, and of course then started seeing all the issues here with Dylan Thompson.
Okay, let's just all right, that's the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Probably the end of the vlogs for a while. So yeah, stick around.
And everybody else with registering issues with their V1, V2 motors. Yeah, so thankfully my bike here is okay with the V3 motor. What else can I say about the bad? Yeah, so some of the bad, I would say, you can definitely say the motor issues that thankfully I don't have. But as well too, some of the things I've seen about the whole torque sensor gives me a little bit of reason to be concerned, especially here riding in the wet and in the cold. Not necessarily the cold, but here in the wet, right? It's not a sealed torque sensor from what I've heard. So torque sensor, I would say, is going to be seen. A bit questionable. See how that holds up through the time so far. 500 kilometers, 3-4 months in of ownership. It's been okay. Point where we don't need a brake. Okay. And so what else in terms of the bad? Cops and robbers. I mean, the bike's completely legal, of course, so there's no reason not to ride it, but cops always kind of questionable about it. So if you've been watching, following Rad City so far, you may have seen the bike. You may have seen me being pulled over twice so far by the cops. Right, every single time it's been on camera for you guys, so 2 times so far being pulled over by the cops. It's alright. I mean, not surprising. They're not really used to seeing what this, they're not used to seeing such a cool machine on the street. So it's a unique machine. No surprise that the cops are a little bit surprised or curious what the bike is. So no worries, I'm glad to stop for them and show them the bike. It is legal, as we know, so no problems there. Robbers, cops and robbers. Definitely living here in Berlin or any big city, you gotta be careful of your bike, of course, any sort of bike. So with this bike particularly, there's a lot of eyes on it. So one of the bad things about owning a Super73-RX in any big city is there's gonna be a lot of added cost for security, peace of mind, insurance. Alright, so be mindful of that when you're owning it, when you purchase it. There are a few more costs involved if you don't have a proper space like a garage, right? I don't know if you guys lock up your bikes in the garage, right? But yeah, definitely if you don't have a garage, living in an urban environment like here in Berlin, it's good then to invest a little bit in security, proper chains, proper insurance. Think about parking and security for sure. Another bad thing about the Super73 is the price, right? So if you compare the price to America, I think the price of the RX is roughly in US dollars 2 times the cost of a Super73 R series, right? I believe the R series is around 2,600 US dollars, correct me if I'm wrong. And this bike here costs in US dollars around 5,100, 5,200 US dollars, depending on the time that you're checking the prices, the currency rates. Right? But so yeah, the price is definitely around twice as much as a Super73 R series. And then if you consider what you're getting for that amount of price, right? You're getting basically a torque sensor, the Shimano Z derailleur 10-speed setup, and then you're also getting the upgraded Magura MT5E brakes. Okay, so for those 3 bits, the torque sensor, the gearing, and the brakes, you need to consider if that's really worth the extra cost. But of course, in Europe, in terms of the price that you're paying, there's a lot of things that are included in the price that you don't really see, such as the taxes and customs and everything else. So that's all included in the price of the EU version. So I know that's a little bit different than the US. In the US, you see the price on the website, that's not including the taxes. So of course, depending on the state that you're living in America, the taxes can be a little bit different. Right? So I know that, of course. So, but still, the price is on paper a little bit shocking if you first take a look at it. So, nice little demo going on here today. I'm just gonna say ugly bits about the bike, ugly parts about owning the Super 73. How about the charger? Can we talk about the charger? Is that allowed? If you own a Super 73, you think you know what I mean. It's not the most easiest thing to plug in. Takes a few tries, I find. Trying to plug in the battery to charge the Super 73. Here in Berlin, there's almost constant demos going on. Every week it seems. It's not every day, but often. There's always all kinds of demos, stuff going on. Pretty cool. Yeah, so ugly parts about owning the Super 73-RX. Gear. It's definitely not riding a regular bicycle that you could just basically go outside and jump on and ride. You should definitely take into consideration having proper gear in terms of safety and protection a little bit with the bike. Yeah, definitely gear. Consider getting a helmet and gloves, right? So in terms of added costs, there are some with, say, the protection of the bike, the security, and then as well within the whole gear that you need to get as well too for the bike to keep yourself safe, right? So keep yourself safe and keep your bike safe. In terms of ugly parts about owning the Super 73, it is ugly because it is of course extra costs that you may not be anticipating. So nothing particularly about the bike, it's just simply about the ownership of any sort of fat bike, I would say. Yeah, so definitely ugly part about the ownership is sometimes the gear, having to lug around all this extra stuff in order to be able to keep yourself safe. But that's just a personal thing, of course, gear, right? All this entire list is all just personal opinions, right? So it's not necessarily scientific. It's not at all scientific. It is just my opinion, and I noticed the back tire there slipping out a little bit, so definitely be careful here on the ice. Here, this is just ice here. Crazy, okay? Service and maintenance as well too. Ugly side of owning a Super 73. It's not a regular bicycle that you can just get service anywhere. So if you see it from my last Yapli video, service is sometimes a bit questionable in Berlin. Where do you get service for your bike? Thankfully, Yapli came through to that, so that's cool. They offer good service, so I really appreciate that. So definitely, ugly side of owning Super 73, guys, is definitely taking into consideration service. Okay, if you're living somewhere remote and you're not the most mechanically savvy, you may want to check and see where you can get service. For me, I can definitely work on the bike. I have no issues in that regard, but for me, it's more just that I don't have the space. What else can I say about the good, the bad, and the ugly of owning a Super 73? Definitely the ore kit. Like I said about the whole price, right? The bike is not the cheapest to start with. And then on top of that, of course, here in the EU, these are pedal assist versions with the 10-speed and torque sensor. So the throttles are basically illegal in Europe. They're verboten, they're not allowed. So what Super 73 does is that then they offer a upgraded off-road experience, or they call it the OR kit, and that costs an extra 125 euro on top of what you paid for the bike plus shipping. Right, so if you want to ride this thing with a throttle, then you need to purchase this additional off-road experience kit. So that's of course a ugly side of owning Super 73 is the stark reality that basically your bike in the US are two different bikes, right? To get them to be the same bike takes a lot of work, right? Because in the US, single speed, cadence sensor, throttle. In the EU, you have pedal assist, torque sensor, and 10 speed, right? So there's some big differences between the US and the EU version, right? So ugly side of owning a Super 73 RX is realizing really that it's going to take a little bit of cost if you want to have it like the US specs to then say have a throttle, right? That's something to consider about owning a Super 73. Hey, thanks again so much for checking out today's video. The good, the bad, the ugly of owning a Super 73 RX in Berlin. Here we are, then the next day. Bike's completely filthy. Catch that in a future video. Did some riding afterwards and got this thing super dirty. But that's coming up in a future video. Met up with my boy here on a urban drive style folding bike, so it's pretty dope. But yeah, wrapping up today's video, the good, the bad, the ugly. If I had to pick one thing from each category, the good, the bad, the ugly, I would say the good for sure would be then the power. The power is amazing. Especially if you've never owned an e-bike before. If you've never owned an e-bike before, the power is really cool. Like the whole Superman feeling, how it really gives you a lot of extra power to move along at a good speed, considering the weight of the bike. So definitely the power, I would say, is the best part in terms of the good. It's really good power delivery, along with then the whole 10 speed and the torque sensor, really nice power setup. And I find it's really nice and smooth, easy to use, problem free so far. So definitely the power is one of the best parts of owning the Super 73 RX EU version. Bad part, I would say for sure, is the motor issues, but I'm pretty certain that Super 73 is aware of the issues. They worked on it here for the V3 bulletproof motor, so that should be no issue there. Hopefully we should be good to go within the whole motor issues and any sort of issues there. But you know, if necessary, I'll take care of that on the channel. Thankfully it is here, the V3 bulletproof motor, so that should be good to go. So far 500 kilometers in, been no issues so far, so that's pretty good. Got the bike covered in dirt yesterday, got the bike just covered in icicles, but here the next day the torque sensor, cable, everything good to go, no problems there. The ice is all off of it now, just kind of covered in dirt, covered in just covered from front to back, top to bottom here in dirt. So we'll have to clean that off in a future video, because we're gonna do some pretty cool work on the bike. We're gonna start doing the mods here soon. Start getting this thing ready for like the spring, get some cool mods on it, get this thing nice and custom, make it extra rad for Rad City. The last, in terms of like the ugliest part about it, would be definitely the price and all the different upgrades you need to do to it, like say the off-road experience, kind of like these whole add-ons. So you know, like I mentioned earlier with the whole US and the EU differences, the price, you can see the RX is a little bit too expensive for your taste. That's totally understandable. There is the Super 73 S2 as well, which is a very capable machine. As well too, you're getting the 10 speed and the same power delivery as the RX. You do get in the S2 front suspension, not the same here as the RX front suspension. I believe it's the same as the R, non-adjustable front suspension in the S2, but as well worth the price. Hope you guys enjoyed the good, the bad, the ugly of owning a e-bike, a fat e-bike here in Berlin. definitely has its quirks, has its pros and cons, but definitely more pros than cons, so it's definitely well worth the price. So we have all different kinds of Super 73s out there. We have Matt Hobby here, for example, in Paris. He's a official brand ambassador for the Super 73. So I believe you can go to his channel, contact him on Instagram for a discount possibly on a Super 73. Don't hold me to that, but check out Matt Hobby's channel for sure for some more Super 73-RX content here in Paris. So that's pretty cool. He has a pretty cool channel, pretty cool content. So check out Matt Hobby. And as well too, let's ask Matt, what's your ownership experience of having your Super 73, Matt? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So hopefully we can see Matt Hobby putting out a video as well too, letting us know his thoughts and his ownership experience, the good, the bad, the ugly of owning the Super 73. So thanks again for checking out today's episode. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys again real soon. Peace.
Mein Freund.
Hey,
nice to
Dankeschön.
meet you.
Hey, it's nice to meet you too.
Ja,
Einen schönen Tag.
Kannst du mir ja bei Instagram
Auf jeden Fall. Wir machen, Dennis.
Okay.
Schönen Tag. Danke dir. Ciao. Yeah, dope. So people enjoying the Super 73 RX is really cool.